Okay, so we're still discussing how the dorsal wall hoof angle affects the sole, the toe stay, the sole ridge, and whatever you want to call it. Okay, so we've done a little search here, wild horse hoof angles, and there's something that just got cleared up in my thinking just recently of a contradiction in something that had been being taught in, quote, natural hoof care that I had not caught before. Now, I started this whole thing, okay, due to the way it was presented to be back in 1998, that this trimming method is based on the wild horse model and how wild horse wears his feet, and how two people, Gene Ovenick, Jamie Jackson, did this research on wild horse hooves, and yada yada yada. If y'all been, looking for answers and researching this stuff, you may know what I'm talking about. But these two men here in America were some of the first ones to really get this going, okay, into the natural hoof care, basing it on the wild horse model. So, in natural hoof care, basing it on patterned after the Mustang and all that. Okay, when they did the research, they found that these horses had different angles and hoof sizes, regardless of the size of the horse, than your domestic horse. And when you understand what I'm going to show you here, along with what I've just told you, you're going to know why that is. Okay? Okay, now, wild horse hoof angles. We're going to take a look at it here. First, we're just going to look at, because this is the first one, it's Horses Go Natural, Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Wild Horse Hooves, because they give a pretty nifty overview. Okay? Now, a barefoot horse is a marvel of nature. Okay, now they give the dimensions of the wild horse hoof. Okay, and I think this is a specimen, and these pictures are from a hoof that Jamie Jackson has, I think. Okay, the outer hoof wall, smooth, straight from hairline to the ground, no bulges, ripples, flares, etc. Short toe length. Most wild horse hooves measure less than 3 1/4 inches. More efficient, stronger hoof to horse attachment, easier breakover, less work for the horse. Toe angle or angle of growth. And remember, that's what we're looking at here and how that affects the sole. Okay, for most horses will vary from 50 to 60 degrees. Okay, remember that. I want you to remember that the toe angle on the wild horse that we're supposed to be patterning this trim after is to be 50 to 60 degrees. Okay, and you're going to find in Gene Ovenick's research that sometimes the angles were even greater. Okay, both toe angle and toe length are important indicators of the natural hoof size and proportion. Okay, Mustang roll all around the hoof. The wall's ground-bearing surface and outer wall turns in a distinct smooth radius, never beveled, squared, or dubbed. Okay, sole. Let's see what they say about the sole. I'm not really here for that, but I just want to see. Solar dome. Concave everywhere. Okay, now haven't I just proven to you that the sole is not concave everywhere? Okay, but isn't this what we have been believing? Okay, and so that's what we're looking for. Okay, and if that's what you're looking for, and that's what you're trying to trim for, a lot of times that's just what you're going to get. You're not going to get that sole ridge or anything else. Okay, so we know that that's not true. Solar dome, concave everywhere, from the white line of the outer wall inward to the frog, deepest over the forward half of the frog. Okay, Here, what else does it say about the sole? A natural hoof sole is thick, callous, tough, and pain-free. Well, yeah, that's true, but this is not the shape of the sole. Didn't we just find that out? Okay, so that's as far as I'm going to go with that. But I'm going to show you two fallacies here. Okay, not on the angles here, but we've already seen that this is a fallacy in the way that we have been looking at these hooves, because the sole is not concave everywhere. Okay? Okay, but we're going to go back to toe angle or angle of growth. For most horses, it will vary from 50 to 60 degrees. Okay? Now, again, remember, this is natural hoof care. That's kind of a name that's taken over in this area. Okay, now I'm going to show you how they don't teach this in natural hoof care. If we're supposed to be patterning our trim, okay, off of, and form and everything else off of wild horse feet, okay, this is not what they teach in most natural hoof care. You're going to see where something else crept in, and if you have fallen for this and you believe it, it's going to keep you from getting the hoof your horse was designed to have. And I fell for this and went with it. It has to do with hoof angles, and consequently my horse had the feet of what these people were teaching, but the feet weren't right. Now, and you know, it'll take a minute here to explain this. Okay, let's go back here. Let's look at angles again. Wild horse hoof angles. Okay, let's see. I'm looking for a Gene Ovanek article I had. Oh, okay. Well, let's just go to here. Okay, this is the horse's hoof. Okay, and this is these pictures here. Okay, now besides Gene Ovanek and Jesse Jackson, Americans doing research on wild horses, you have a woman by the name of Dr. Hildred Strasser over in Germany that also did research, but not on wild horses. Okay, she come up with the idea that the coffin bone is supposed to be totally ground parallel. Now remember, didn't I tell you that from here back, okay, is cartilage, and that the heels have cartilage in them, and that is why they remodel so easily. In other words, run forward, because there's no bone there to stabilize that, right? And this whole back of the foot here, okay, holds the back of this bone, and it holds it at an angle of about like this, so that the bone just ain't laying flat like that. Okay, but Dr. Hildred Strasser from Germany come up with this idea just by setting a bone on a table, that this had to be the natural angle of what your feet should be. So I'll show you something here. Okay, if you get on the web and you look it up, you'll find where you can make these little hoof mapping things out of a piece of plexiglass, okay, that give you a 45-degree angle for the toe, front toe, a 55-degree angle for the back toe, and then they say you should have a 30-degree hairline. Now I'm going to turn this around so you can see it. You see there? Okay, but a wild horse hoof has 50 to 60 or greater degree toe lines, and also what I've found out is they have a 20-degree hairline. Okay, but they make up these things, these little plexiglass things that you hold up to your foot like this, and then basically cut to